G'day viewers, my name's Graham Stevenson and I'd like to invite you to come on a journey of creativity and learning and adventure through the series Colour in Your Life. There's an artist in every family throughout the world, and lots of times there's an artist deep down inside all of us as well. So grab your kids, your brothers, your sisters, your aunties, uncles and mums and dads and come and see how some of the best artists do what they do. Well, g'day viewers and welcome back to Colour in Your Life. Well, as you can see, the fantastic and amazing Golden Gate Bridge in the wonderful city of San Francisco in the United States of America. We're over here filming some incredibly talented people, and we're going to be crossing the country, meeting some extraordinary individuals, some really talented human beings, and you're going to see some amazing stuff. But we're here now, and we're literally going to cross the country with this. But come along for the ride. You're going to have a great time. Well, good day viewers and welcome back to Colour in Your Life. Well, we are in Arizona today and we're in Prescott Valley. Beautiful area, it's snowing outside, it's a little cold. And I'm with the fantastic contemporary abstract artist, Patricia Coulter. Patricia?
Hi, Graham.
Welcome to the show. Well, as you can see behind us, Patricia does this fantastic, I think Patricia's work is like it's being born or it's being birthed. It's the best way to describe it. And you originally started this style quite a while ago, and we've just got a couple of examples here of what Patricia does, and I'll let you actually explain a little bit more. And this is one of the first ones that you actually started with, wasn't it?
Yes, I was originally a watercolor artist, and I was always looking for brighter colors and stronger hues. And everyone said, try acrylic paint. And so I painted this yellowy, orangey sunset, and I had a bit of grass, and I wasn't really all that struck on it. So I took it over to the sink and ran some water, and then it started running. And I thought, oh, look at how it's blending and running. And I was really attracted to that fluidity. And then I watched a YouTube clip with Michelle Tiberge, and she had just put drops of paint on and some pouring medium, and then just tilted the canvas around and let it run. And I thought, oh, that is cool. Look at how everything's moved and hung out together. So then I advanced from that into bigger canvases. And I take the canvas loose and I set it up, and then I just do the same type of technique with just large washes of fluid paint flowing and merging and hanging out together.
And you really do let the paint the picture for you.
I always feel the color needs to talk, and then when it's in a bigger format, it can give more voice to its power and to its energy.
Yeah. And
then it starts to really spring out of the page. It just flows and the energy flows out.
It's fantastic, and this style that Patricia has developed over the years has just put her into a position where, I mean, this is actually the front cover of Business Art News for this year, so this is pretty amazing. She's on one of the covers of the most prestigious art magazines in the United States, which I think is just incredible. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to step out of shot. This is going to be fascinating because we literally are going to watch this picture develop. It's sort of like pouring paint down the Grand Canyon. It's
yes.
Like you don't know where it's going to go. But I'm going to step out of shot and I'm going to let you begin what you need to do for this.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Okay, Patricia, well, you've got this just piece of canvas. I mean, it's obviously not screened up at all. Describe what you do. How do you go about all of this?
Well, I buy primed canvas on the roll and I cut off a section, and then I look around my house for different pieces that I can use for heights, and I want to get my canvas at various heights so that it starts flowing at different levels. I get different paths going. To hold it in place, I use some bricks or books or something that's heavy. And at the very bottom, I have to always make sure I have my drip pan because that's where all the paint will run. You only ever forget having the drip pan once. It's something like when you have a baby, a newborn baby, and you forget your diaper bag. You only do that once. So,
I bet.
Because it's very easy to be concentrating on how the colors are interacting and flowing together and not realizing that it's running onto your floor. You also want to go to the hardware store and you want to get lots of towels, and you need to get gloves and wear something to protect your clothes. The first time that I did a large poured painting, I think I had paint everywhere. I had a little apron on and it wasn't nearly enough because the paint starts to flow and it picks up its own speed. So you want to make sure you've protected yourself. So I'm getting ready to paint. I've got my paint mixed up. I've got, I use golden fluid acrylic paint. I add a wee bit of pouring medium, a wee bit of varnish, and a little wee bit of water, just to increase the fluidity, but not so much that it changes the composition of the paint too much. And what I do is I start with a couple of sponge brushes, and I have them dampened with some water, and I have a couple of cloths just dampened, just in case, because sometimes you have paint go on its own. So then I just start pouring. Now I've guided this canvas and used different shapes to give it the path. So I'm going to start here with a large yellow area, and it's going to flow down into the pan. The inspiration for this is recently I was in my home in Cold Lake, Alberta, and I went around by a dumpster and startled a raven, and he flew up in front of me and just about blew me off my feet. And I thought of how it was sunny and warm. I was walking along peaceful, and then whoosh, this dark raven flew up in front of me. So I'm going to start with some yellow and oranges warm tones, and then I'm going to end with some of the darker suggesting the raven. But every painting has its own voice. The paint starts to take its own path, and I have to be open to thinking maybe this isn't what it's going to do something else. The painting will start to speak on its own. You just have to be free and open to spontaneous.
Okay.
So I'm going to start with my first pour. I want to have a fairly wide area here, and then it always narrows and comes down. So I'm just going to start this here. I'm going to come around like this, and there's the paint. And I've got all these layers of paint going down, and I'm just going to blend them together. So I use a little bit of brushwork, but I just love the fluid, bright colors of golden fluid acrylics. Their colors are so rich and they stay so fluid. It's just, and sometimes you see there's been a splash or something's moved. So you just have to be watching. This is a really good time. You wish you had 10 hands and were multi-dexterous. Now I want to get it flowing a bit more, so I'm just going to add a wee bit of water just along the edges here, and I could go all the way across, or if I could just want to do it here on the side. So I see it's going to go down and curve, and then this is where the magic happens. Now I see that I'm getting a nice area here. I want to bring this up, right up to the edge, and I've got some light areas here, and sometimes you get splashes, which I can see here. So that's where the dampened shop towel comes in. While it's wet, you've got some time. So here I've got a couple of splashes happening from the paint, and then I just need to come in with a brush and help direct it. And I like how this has come down here, and it's just flowing really nicely. And you have to really watch, because sometimes you're getting a surprise at the other end. So you've got maybe 10 minutes where you can manipulate this and get it going where you want. And then once it gets a surface dry, then that's pretty much it. But I really like this shape that I've got going here. So now I want to think I'm going to add a little orange and have it working down. So I'm just going to give this a few minutes to set up.
Okay.
But you can see the rich color and the energy coming out.
And it's such a fabulously free-flowing style.
Yes.
It's the best way to put it.
Yeah. When I'm teaching painting on cruise ships or in workshops, people always ask how they can be freer and looser. And this is a wonderful way. You can't control this. You have a bit of control, But you have to be open to just letting things happen and seeing what go, and then go from there.
Yeah, I think that your workshops would be huge amounts of fun.
They are.
As
It's
well,
just,
yeah.
we all have fun.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you just relax and just let the paint do the talking.
Yes.
So I'm just going to let that sit for a few minutes, and then I'm going to come in with a second layer. And I think I want to have it move over here a bit more, so in a few minutes I'll just adjust my furniture and direct the path down a little bit over to the one side.
That's fascinating. And those little brushes you got there, they're little foam brushes, are they?
Yes, just get those at the hardware store.
Yeah.
For my finishing work at the very end, I use more of a good quality fine brush. For just this beginning, these foam brushes work great. And you can use them a couple of times and everything works good there. So I'm going to start over here, adding this color. And I kind of like these two to hang out together. So I'm just going to come along. I like this angle that I've got going. And I'm just going to put a little bit of orange in here.
Ooh, look at that.
You can just see the richness of it, and the colors are just starting to say, hey, let's hang out together here.
Yeah, it's very powerful. It really is.
Now, to help guide it along, you just need a wee bit of water. And you could do your whole area with water if you wanted, but it washes the color out. So you just have to think of what effect you want. And I just need a little bit here just to hang out with this.
It's only when you actually really look closely at your work that those little subtle variances in the tone and the hues that you get in there are quite dramatic in the end. In many of your paintings, it actually looks like silk.
Yes, yes. I think it's just the color being able to move. And
Yeah.
now, if you have this happen where you have, sometimes you either can, if you're quick enough with a damp cloth, you can get it off. But sometimes you just say, well, I guess we have orange here, or whatever color that was. You've got a short window of time to work.
This is really putting down a lot of those dynamic base colours, and then you'll come back later on with a smaller brush and start to touch things up. And
Yeah. Here I have a little dribble, so I want to just smooth that. So there's a bit of babysitting here. You just want to watch it. You just kind of have to sit with it and see what it's saying to you and what's happening.
Well, part of the things that you find when you do your exhibitions and trade shows, and you're a multi-award winning artist and you've had numerous exhibitions across the country, but you were saying beforehand that there was one lady that came into one of the trade shows and looked at your picture and immediately said, happy, happy. And what happened after that?
Well, then I led her over to the wall where it was hanging and had her read the little tag, and there was the name, Happy, Happy. So I knew that the picture was conveying the message that I wanted, and it just makes you feel happy.
And she didn't even know about that at all, did she? No. That's fantastic. The thing that I notice about your work is that all of the names are about joy and about exuberation and about, you know, loving life. The dance party, which is I think is a great piece. There's a huge amount of energy in there as well, but you see a couple.
Yes, moving together, dancing, and maybe it's a date night or they're at a party.
Also Germination, which is a piece with greys and blacks, and then all of a sudden there's this electric red centre.
Yeah, so if I was doing that, I would have to let the grey and black dry completely and then just do the little bit of red at the end. Otherwise it would have played a bigger part in the painting. So I'm going to move this part of the canvas, even though it's a shorter end, I'm going to readjust it. So you can see it's a trial and error. You've got to guide where you want it to go. And now I'm getting lower, so I'm going to change my drip pan out for a smaller one.
Yep.
So this takes a bit of adjusting to get what you want. There I can see it starting to go there.
So it's really about controlling the canvas so you can control the paint.
Yes, so I can see that it's going to make a nice curve and come down here. So now I have mixed up some ultramarine blue and a little dash of purple and a little dash of black.
Yep.
Then adding the pouring medium and a little bit of varnish and a little bit of water. So this is going to be dark and strong. It'll be like pouring ink, so I'm going to be really careful here. I like this flow that I've got going, so I'm going to move down a ways. And I'm going to start here.
And this is representing the wings of the raven.
Yes, kind of that bluey black, purple rich color that you see.
Yep.
So I'm just going to guide it along here. This isn't for the faint of heart, this style of painting. This is, you have to be prepared to just let go and just see what happens. The brush does a little bit of work, but
that in a sense is the beauty about your style and your workshops, and the reason you're so popular on the cruise ships is that it's not about the painting as well, it's about, as you said, letting go. Ooh, look at that down there. Wow.
So I like this dark shade. I like this feeling of the wing. Now I see a dark line there, so I'm going to just keep that going.
There you go.
Just like the way they blended together.
Apart from the workshops you do a lot of presentations as well.
Yes, I love to inspire people and let them feel they can create. So often we want to create, but we don't know where to begin.
Okay, now that side's dried and you're going to start to move the canvas again.
Yes, so this is the tricky part. I have an idea how I want it to go, so it's just going to take some maneuvering here. So I know that I want it to come here. I want to continue with this cascading effect.
Yes.
So I'm just going to try and gently guide the canvas and have it here. So now I'm going to bring this up and move it over.
Yeah.
And
so that we get it flowing into obviously another area.
There's always splashes and waves and ripples, so you're never completely sure it's going to go. But
I mean, a big influence of this style for you, or an influence from other women, was Georgia O'Keeffe.
Yes.
And Helen Frankenthaler.
Yes,
with
I
their styles.
especially like the work of Helen Frankenthaler and how she was sitting and looking at some canvas laying on the floor and then developed her stain technique. And it's the same kind of thing as this. You're just sitting looking and you want the color to come out and you want the color to speak. So this is a good style for that. It's just something that people can try, and they'll just feel so free and open to suggestion with this style of painting.
Absolutely.
So I'll just give my paint another little stir just to keep everything combined. And we'll take a big breath. We're going to be good here. I'm going to start small and it'll widen out the way the canvas is flowing.
Look at that. Wow.
And it's just rich and fluid and ready to rock and roll here. So now I'll add some water to guide it. I like what's going on here, so I'll just put the water as a guide farther down here. And I really like this rippling here. So I'm going to make this come up here, and we want to just suggest things coming up and out. And I've got these ribbons over here, so while I have this paint, I'm going to just see what we can do here. This is going to be such a large painting. I want to have big shapes.
Yeah. You were telling me with one of your pieces at the Art Expos that there was a young lady that bought a picture called Jubilation, and her response was quite dramatic.
Yeah, she said she'd been looking for a painting that would bring her joy and make her feel happy, and she just came over to it and zeroed in on it, and she said, I found it, and she was just thrilled. And even when they were packing up the painting for her to take it home, she was almost hopping up and down. She was so happy.
That's great,
so
isn't it?
That's what painting's all about, bringing the joy of these colors and shapes and bringing happiness and energy.
But that is the essence of a lot of your work. I mean, the piece Exuberant, it's got all of those multicolours with the blue lines going through it. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and just energy and joy.
Yeah.
And also a meditative quality to it as well. My youngest daughter was killed by a drunk driver when she was 22, and it was a really dark time for me, and something that helped me put one foot in front of the other was painting. I just started off very small, and probably they were very dark, and probably all are in the garbage, but gradually the paintings got bigger and the paintings got brighter, and it was just a really therapeutic thing to paint and sit down at the table and muck about with some paint and water, and I just felt better. So I hope painting brings joy to other people as well. It doesn't have to be as big and elaborate as this, but just get some paint and some paper and just sit down and noodle about and see what happens.
Just goes to prove that art can be a panacea for seeing the world differently and having therapeutic results with it as well.
So I'll just start with some orange.
Okay.
And I have my dampened sponge brushes and my dampened cloth. And I'm going to just come in here where I was and see if I can't guide it.
Actually, watching you paint, Pat, it's actually like being at a sporting event. It's like in an arena.
You really wish you had more than two hands at times. So I like how this is coming in here.
Yeah, I like that overflow effect where it sort of fades out the other colours at the back.
Mm-hmm. So I'm liking how this is feathering up also. It will repeat the feathering in this.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm just going to leave it alone.
So when do you know that a piece is finished, particularly as an abstract artist?
It's nice to leave the room, sometimes even go for a walk and come back, and then as soon as I look at it, I'm either going, or I'm going, ooh, we need to fix this area. So it's all, you need to take a step away from it and look at it. And sometimes I've even had a canvas just rolled up and kept for a while and then opened it up and, oh, I can see it needs more of this, or it's just sometimes even turning it a quarter turn or a half turn, even that, and then I can get another flow going the other way, and the painting will tell you.
Absolutely.
Just walking into the room here and you can see the energy, so this is on, it's nearly finished. I think all I would need to do now, once these dry, is just maybe the odd little touch up with a fine brush.
Sure.
But basically this is all worked out really well.
And because of the beauty of television, once again, guys, you can see the finished piece being screened up right now, and it looks absolutely spectacular, of course. Really, really amazing piece of work.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, guys, well, fantastic time down here in Prescott Valley in Arizona. Now, you're actually going back to your home in Alberta in Canada, aren't you?
Yes, Cold Lake, Alberta, Canada.
It's fantastic. This lady gets around a lot, let me tell you. But thank you so much, Patricia.
Oh, thank you.
It was a pleasure having it. As you can see, what an amazingly great way to use paint, and really fun. I mean, it was just fantastic, and she's a wonderful contemporary abstract artist as well. Now, if people want to come along to the cruises or any of your workshops as well, what's your website address again?
Patricia Coulter, COULTER.com.
Okay, now come in and see Pat, because I think even with the cruises and then being able to do this on the ships is just a fantastic time to be had with a very, very talented lady as well. So we've had a great time here in the United States. We're heading back to Australia shortly, but you know, wow, amazing people and an incredible time. And we'll be back again, of course, as well. Come into colorinyourlife.com.au, see what we're doing in there. We hope to have all of these people's work up in our shop, and you can come in and shop and see what they're doing. And obviously, of course, on our Facebook page and YouTube. But we're going to head out of here. We're on a plane back to Australia. We love the United States, we love Canada, and we love the people over here. And until we see you again, guys, remember, make sure you put some colour in your life, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye now, guys. See ya. Bye-bye.